Okay, good afternoon. My name is Gabrielle Brown, and this is my PowerPoint Advocacy LGBTQI presentation. So, why did I choose the LGBTQIA population? I chose the population because of the ongoing challenges they face, including discrimination, lack of access of affirming healthcare, and increased risk of mental health struggles. Despite progress in recent decades, inequities remain widespread. My advocacy project focuses on amplifying their voices and promoting greater inclusivity and equity at the community level. Okay. So, the description of the LGBTQIA population. It represents a wide spectrum of identities, including lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer or questioning, intersex, asexual, and more. Culturally, this community values authenticity, pride, and self expression, which are celebrated through events such as Pride Month and local pride parades. Many individuals rely on chosen families, network of supportive friends, and allies when biological families are not affirming. And the intersectionality is also a key aspect as LGBTQIA people experience layered identities related to race, class, and culture that influence their live experiences. Okay. So, despite their cultural strengths, the LGBTQIA population face persistent challenges. It can go from discrimination in housing, employment, and healthcare. The LGBTQIA youth are at higher risk of homelessness, while transgender individuals face barriers to accessing the healthcare. As far as family rejection as well, it's also a critical issue that impacts mental health and stability, particularly for youth and young adults. I'm sorry. At the same time, this population demonstrates remarkable resiliency, community, solidarity, and solidarity. I'm sorry, I'm getting tongue tied. And it's visible through grassroots organization, national advocacy groups, and local support networks. The legal process, such as marriage, has strengthened protections, while increased visibility in media and leadership has given more representation and normalized LGBTQIA identities. Despite the barriers, the community continues to push forward, building stronger movements for justice and equality. The historical and current marginalization. The LGBTQIA individuals have faced deep marginalization for decades. Same-sex relationships were criminalized, and many people risk arrest. Okay, sorry. They were criminalized, and many people risk arrest, violence, and social exile simply for being who they were. The medical field also contributed to exclusion, as homosexuality was classified as a mental disorder until 1973. These practices reinforced stigma and forced many to hide their identities to survive. The Stonewall Riots of 1969 marked a powerful turning point, sparking the modern LGBTQIA rights movement. This event inspires decades of advocacy, leading to milestones such as the removal of homosexuality from the DSM, the legalization of same-sex marriage, and broader visibility in media and politics. However, despite progress, systemic marginalization persists. Transgender and non-binary individuals, in a particular, face ongoing threats, including restrictive laws limiting gender-affirming care and access to public spaces. LGBTQIA youth are often subject to bullying, family rejection, and policies that limit their rights in school. The current social climate reflects both progress and backlash, showing that advocacy must remain a constant effort. The history of exclusion and the ongoing challenges today highlight how marginalization is not just a thing of the past, and it continues to shape life experience in ways that demand ongoing attention and action. Social policies impacting LGBTQIA population. Social policies at all levels play a major role in the lives of LGBTQIA population. At the local level, many cities have passed non-discrimination or ordinances that protect individuals from being denied housing, employment, or public services based on sexual orientation or gender identity. Some, okay, where did I lost my spot. Okay, some companies fund LGBTQIA, such as the community centers, pride events, and inclusive health initiatives that provide safe spaces for education, and support. At the state level, protections vary significantly. Progressive states like California and New York offer strong safeguards, including laws that prohibit discrimination in school, healthcare, and workplaces. However, other states have passed restrictive legislation such as bans on gender-affirming medical care for transgender youth, limitations on LGBTQIA education in schools, and barriers to legal recognition of gender identity. This creates a patchwork system where rights depend heavily on geography. At the federal level, there have been both victories and ongoing struggles. Marriage equality was legalized nationwide in 2015 through the Supreme Court ruling in Obergefell versus Hodges. The workplace protections were expanded in 2020 when the court ruled that Title V11 of the Civil Rights Act protects LGBTQIA workers from discrimination. Still, debates continues over healthcare protection under the Affordable Care Act, transgender military service, and broader federal anti-discrimination laws such as the Equality Act, which has yet to pass. These examples demonstrate how uneven and inconsistent protections can be, leaving many LGBTQIA individuals vulnerable depending on where they live. It highlights why advocacy for inclusive, comprehensive policy remains so urgent. Okay, so the advocacy plan. The main goal of my advocacy plan is to expand access to affirming mental health and social services for LGBTQIA individuals. Many people in this population avoid seeking help because of fear of discrimination, past negative experience, or the lack of providers trained in the cultural competency. My strategies focus on 3 levels of advocacy. First, it starts off at the community level. I will work to increase education and awareness by organizing workshops for service providers on LGBTQIA inclusivity, trauma-informed care, and affirming practice. Partnering with schools, clinics, and community centers ensures that frontline professionals are better prepared to support this population. Second, at the organization level, I will build coalitions with local LGBTQIA organizations, mental health agencies, and social service providers. Working together allows us to pool resources, strengthen outreach, and advocate for institutional policies that support inclusivity, such as adopting gender-inclusive forms, bathroom policies, and non-discrimination statements. Finally, at a policy level, advocacy will involve contacting local and state legislators, participating in public hearings, and supporting broader efforts like the Equality Act at the federal level, using evidence from research and surveys results, strengthen the case for why inclusive policies are essential. My social media campaign, I'm gonna focus on all the platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok because they reach a wide and diverse audience, including youth, adults, and community organization. And the central message of the campaign can be affirming care, save lives. The frame was chosen because it highlights both the urgency of affirming services and the life-saving impact of inclusion and equity. but the campaign would include a mix of visual tools such as infographics with statistics about LGBTQIA mental health disparities, short testimony style videos where individuals share their positive experience with affirming care, and posts that highlight local and national LGBTQIA resources. So we will also use hashtags like hashtag inclusive care, hashtag LGBTQ health equity, equity, and hashtag pride and care. So the hashtag allows people to connect with the campaign and also make it easier to track audience engagement as well. So the purpose of the campaign is to normalize affirming care and reduce stigma and connect LGBTQIA individuals and to their resources while also raising awareness among professional and policymakers. Social media serve as both an educational and advocacy tool, bridging the gap between research and lived experience in action. Let's see. Okay. Next is survey questions and administration plan. So my key questions would be: what barriers do you face in accessing health or social services? Do you feel safe and respected when seeking services? What resources would be most helpful to you? How do stigma or discrimination impact your daily life? And as far as like a plan, we'll do like online surveys as via Google Forms. And let's see, all my participants will be LGBTQIA participants, community members. And yeah, let's see. Okay, so the evaluation of advocacy plan. To evaluate the advocacy plan, I will track measurable outcomes like participation in community workshops, engagement with social media, and policy discussions. Stakeholder feedback will also be critical in determining effectiveness. Referring to our textbook, evaluation must be ongoing and adaptive to ensure accountability and to assess whether advocacy strategies are producing real change. The lesson learned and barriers. A key lesson I learned is that research is valuable, but live experience is essential to shaping effective advocacy. Barriers I faced included limited survey participation, resistance from political context, and the stigma that still surrounds LGBTQIA issues. Despite these obstacles, persistence and adaptability, I can't get it out, are essentials in sustaining advocacy efforts. Let's see what's next. The conclusion, the LGBTQIA community demonstrates incredible resiliency, yet faces ongoing challenges that demand advocacy. This project reinforced the need for affirming services, stronger protection, and systemic change. Advocacy is not a one-time effort, but a continuous process of listening, evaluating, and acting to ensure LGBTQIA individuals have equity and dignity and opportunity. And this concludes my PowerPoint. Thank you.